Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Well, we did have an alert earlier with the Aussie US, US CAD, and Aussie Yen. This was the Aussie US. I did take this trade. We are in an uptrend. We did have an up arrow. And I'm on the 5-minute chart. That's the problem. Let me get back to let me check my charts, make sure I've got all 15-minute charts on these. Aussie Yen, I put that on 15-minute. See what that tells me. Put this one on 15-minute. These are on 5. The gold, the US S&P, and the NASDAQ is all on 5-minute. Everything else is good. Okay, so we have an alert for the Aussie Yen. Let's take a look at that one. And we have up arrow. We have looks like it may be too close for a trade here. We've got 14 pips. Here is the alert right here on the 20 pips is going to be at 83.76. We'll put that up here. So we're actually into the red zone for this one.
Bounce. No bounce, Sal.
No, and no bounce. We have no bounce. We have, and I'm thinking we may be in the wrong direction too. Let's just take a look and see about this. Actually, we may be in the right direction. We're in the right direction, but we don't have a bounce. Is right, is what CB was telling us. Arrow up. We're going to move that right here. But there is no trade with this. And what was the other one we had? If I have that little box in there, right, then you get this big spot on my screen, and I don't want to do that for you. What was the next alert that we had?
We had a US CAD.
US CAD. Let's take a look at that one. And we have a down arrow. I can already tell this is not going to be, this is going to be too close to the zone. We'll just measure it out though.
We can't see the, oh, sorry. I'm on my own charts.
Oh, okay. All right.
I need another copy too.
Before the session is over, you may be the one sharing your screen here before, as everyone gets fed up with me here.
No, you're good right now. You're good.
Okay, so that's not going to be a trade. It's only like 6 pips to that side. There was an Aussie Yen earlier. Let's take a look and see what that one was doing. Aussie Yen, we had the alert. Let's zoom into, see what we have for right this way. Actually, I found if you just go and take your cursor on the bottom, just slide it to the left, it tightens these things up, and you can see a little bit quicker what the trend is. Right now, it is in an uptrend. Grab this and slide this back the other way. This is one we were just looking at. How about the Aussie US? You say this one wasn't right. Aussie US, that was when I was on the 5-minute chart. Didn't realize I was on a 5-minute chart, and we did get a 5-minute up arrow right here. And see, we had here's a bounce arrow go, but it's in the contra trend. We did have a 5-minute zone right where these wicks are. And so we are in an uptrend, but we do have this moving average right here. I did take this trade because I was thinking I was on a 15-minute chart. We do have enough room for the 15 minutes. So I'm going to stay, since I'm in this, I'm going to stay in it. I wouldn't be taking it right now. Let me put it on a 5-minute chart and see. Actually, right now, if we can get a 5-minute, we did have the bounce arrow go on a 5-minute chart, but we don't have it on the 15th, and it is struggling right around in here. You see this little wick right here? It's having to get through that little area. That's causing us a little bit of a problem. Let me get to my tools and get some shapes here. Insert, there we go, insert, shapes, my rectangle. We're going to pay attention to this little area right in here. It may have a hard time getting through that. We'll see. I won't give this a lot of room. If it breaks through the bottom of this wedge and comes back down, I'll be out of this trade. This is another what you call those trading errors, that you don't have your chart set up properly and you look and see, you're thinking you're looking at one thing and you really have something else. So I'm going to draw a wedge off of this little wick right here. Here's an anchor, here's a bounce. I'm just going to line it right with that trend line. And like I said, if it goes back, if it breaks through, if it breaks through this moving average, this blue moving average, comes down close and comes back and retests it, I'll be out of this trade. If it just has a strong move down with no wick at all, I'll be out of this trade. I may wait for a little bit of a pullback, but I won't be waiting around too long with it if I see it. And then there was the US CAD. Did we look at the US CAD?
I don't think we did, no.
And US CAD, we're in an uptrend. We're just hanging out right around these moving averages. We are a little bit of a, this is the overnight. This is the overnight range right here. Let me go and put the template up. I try to reset my template every day, and then I can just make the adjustments with the prices as we change different charts. So it looks like we have about 146, 126.47. Go to my objects list. Go to my open trades. I open the trade at 1.26. We'll go 47 just to get started here. This would be where the entry of the arrow is. Make sure we're on a 15-minute chart. There we are. And we measure the distance. And it's only 5 pips. So we'd have to do, we have to see this thing break down through the bottom of this 126.27 area before I would take it. And if we can do that, then we might have enough room to the downside. That would be 27 pips, and I'll just see about the direction here. We are in a downtrend, as best I can tell. Actually, I'm gonna call this as 1, 2, 3. This is all pretty close to the same point. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'd call it still a downtrend. There's actually 4 in there. So we're gonna go to a downtrend here. And move this back out again so we can see our prices a little bit better. And so I would not want to take it much before here. I want to see it get through this zone. At least, I will, at the very least, I'd like to see some strong strength and have it close in some place in this zone. I would prefer to see it break the zone and maybe give us a little bit of the trend line. We'll have, I'm just going to use the bottom wick right here, which should be about the bottom of this little box right here. And if it comes down, if it passes it, comes back, checks it, then I may take this trade. We do have enough room for a target down here around the 125.99 area. So we'll put that in. So this is not a trade yet, and we're just looking to mark our charts in case we get something. 5. That didn't work. 1.2687. I'll try that. So from 26.27 to 26, that means 27 pips. So if we can get a nice entry right around the blue line with the right direction, we can maybe take that. We do have our 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock time frame over there. Let's take a look at the Forex factory and the news and see what we can find on that. Let me see if I can find that chart. I'll probably have to swap screens here. So let me pause this a minute here and I'll see if I can find my other chart. While sharing. This got me in trouble last time. We'll try it again. Resume sharing and stop sharing, and we're going to switch screens. You probably don't see anything right now, do you?
No.
I just lost my screen. Okay, let me put back to the chart here. You see my chart now?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. I may just have to look at the news myself. I wonder if I keep switching screens back and forth, it's going to cause more problems, and I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Does anybody, Eva or CB, could you check the news and see if there's any news today that we need to know about?
Sure.
Sure. Where are you going to
Okay.
see? Which one you checking?
Whichever one either one, you tell me which one you want.
Okay, I'll go to my FX books.
Okay, I'll go to Forex Factory.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I assure you that I will get better with this as the days go on. It's just that I always have to kind of keep relying how to use my laptop.
So on Forex Factory, there's an all-day OPEC meeting that's going to impact everything potentially. And then at noon, if Fed Chair Powell speaks at noon for USD. Those are the two red numbers today.
All right, yeah, keep aware of that one. Usually whenever the Fed chairman speaks, that usually moves the markets a lot of times. You never know exactly when, what they say at the time when they're saying it. But just be aware that that's going on. If you see some major moves, just be aware of that. Let's have a New Zealand or Aussie New Zealand alert right now. Let's take a look at that. Aussie NZD, and there's an Aussie JPY and a gold one. We'll take a look at the gold.
I've got Euro and US news today.
Okay.
Folder.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at the Aussie New Zealand.
Euro was at 5 a.m., so that one's done.
What
That's
about the
done.
gold trade at 7:30?
Aussie NZD. Let me get rid of some of this. That's already, you can see that's in the range right now. Test on that one, Aussie yen. And this is the one that we were looking at earlier, I believe. That was it. Yeah, we were looking at this one earlier.
Yep.
And so that's still not a trade. It's too close to the zone. If you were really aggressive, you can maybe go for a couple pips, but I don't know that I would do that either.
No bounce.
And No bounce. It's going in the right direction. There's really no bounce. It's not coming off of the. Get rid of this. We did have a bounce arrow go during the overnight session, however, and it didn't really pull back too much. I don't think. Looks like here's the arrow. It pulled back 15 pips. You would take a little bit of heat on it, but you have gotten your 20 pips out of it. That would have been a good trade. But again, that's an overnight trade. That's before the money zone. That was a earlier this morning.
Well, there was a trade, a gold alert. I'm sorry.
Gold.
you know,
Sorry, there was.
That Aussie yen moved in the non-money zone because that's a Asian pair, right?
Yeah, that was during the Asian session.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get a little more movement with the Aussie Kiwi yen pairs.
You know, Nathan doesn't stay up in the middle of the night for no reason. That's because when that London session opens, a lot of times you get some consolidation over the Asian period. And then when the London opens up, it moves that market quite a bit. So a lot of the big moves happen before we ever get up in the morning. And if you ever hold positions overnight, a lot of times you'll find out that you can either lose a lot or make a lot if you hold it overnight during that Asian to London session. Yeah, see, let's take a look at gold. No trade there. Lots of downward pressure. Looks like a downtrend with a red zone right in front of it. So there's not much of a trade there. Let me just do my scrunch tool here. Yeah, lots of red.
Might get a bounce later on for the
we could get a bounce to the downside here.
That's a nice looking W there.
Yes, it sure is. I'm still kind of expecting gold to make another run, but I don't think it's quite ready yet. We'll mark this. And that off, and we wait. And let's take a look at some of our British pairs. A lot of times they're the ones that oftentimes make some headway here. Here we have a nice bounce arrow. Let's see what the trend is on this one. Looks like we're in an uptrend, crossed over the moving averages. This could be a possibility. It's may have been just a little bit slow developing, but that doesn't mean it's still not valid. Let's see. Let's take this and refresh the chart. This is our contra trend zone. We are in an uptrend, we determined. Generally, we don't. If it's a couple hours after the move, we don't. If there is reason to believe that maybe this is a wedge with a pullback off a trend line, that could be maybe make some validity. There's nothing wrong with getting in a little bit earlier. The question is, you want to make sure that one, your target wasn't hit, and two, it hasn't reversed direction on you. So I'm going to mark this right here. This was at the 179.19. $1.7919. That was the entry of the arrow, and this was a bounce arrow with the go. It hasn't really pulled back too much right now. We're going to put target 1.7939. It hasn't hit the target. That's a 20 pip target there, and then the stop. 1.7889. Let's see, that's 89. That's only 20 pips we need. 69. So right now we are still in an uptrend. We had the bounce arrow. We did have a target up here, came back down, made a new low, or a higher low is what it did. It was lower lows over here.
Al, that should be a 79.
That'd be a 79. Thank you.
79 for 40 pips.
79 for 40. Yep, math's off a little bit today. Yeah, if I would, right now I'm looking to see if it's going to bounce. I would not want to, if I took this trade, I would want to do like a buy stop entry on this. So, because if it keeps on going down, you don't want to be getting in. And let's just see how far it goes. If it comes down and challenges, if we get a bounce off of this trend line or this moving average, there's about our 45 degrees slant angle on the trend line. As if it comes down and bounces, we also have another trend line on the top. This is just basically where the technical analysis comes in. Right now it's trading inside this zone. It did make a little run up to the top. It never quite got to 20 pips. If you did take this trade and you're going for 20 pips, you probably just missed the fill of your target, and then it's pulled back again. But that doesn't mean it's not going to come back up and retest it again. Right now, it looks like it's just trading inside this zone right here. And that's about what we can say about that one. We'll keep an eye on the British Aussie. And let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at British CAD. That's pretty well range bound, it looks like. Between the red and green zones, that's 33 pips. We're right about in the middle, so we only have about 15 pips on either side of where the price is right now, so that'll still be no trade. Definitely in an up zone, up in the uptrend, right up into a red zone. Over here, we might as well mark the up arrow. Any questions in the, anybody have any questions so far? Let's see if there's a question here. British Aussie are pretty close together on all.
Al,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, can you please show how to do the counter trend tape template?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. I'll put it, I'll do that. Let's see. Let's just pick one here. Let's see, we're looking at the Aussie US. Let's take a look at that one. And basically the template that I don't, it's not really anything fancy about the template. I'll just have the, when I just some vertical lines, I'll just do one here. I just put a vertical line in. The contra trend zone is basically from 8 o'clock in the morning East Coast time, 8 to 10, which is in about another, well, it's probably right about now, I'm thinking. Yeah, just about another 4 minutes. So from 8 o'clock and then till 10 o'clock, I have my two vertical yellow lines. I just use that for yellow lines. And I just put those on my objects list. And I also have another line which I'll draw, which is a purple line or blue line. I put right where the money zone is, and I'll make that one a different color. I try to keep consistent with the colors, just so that as you're looking at my charts, you kind of know what represents. And then once you put those lines on, you can give them a label. So if you draw this line and you left click, It pulls up the box, and you can give it a label. I just mine. And I just labeled it. This is the blue one is where I open the trade, and then you have a price that you can put it in. And I just set the price. And then once you save this, then when you go to save the template, you just go right click and go to template, and you click save. I don't want to change it because I already made the template here. Then this little box will pop up. You click OK. And then you give the template a name. And I gave mine, I usually give it the date that I made the template and then something about it. And so anyway, I don't want to save this because I already saved it. And then once you make the template, and you do is right click, go to template, and go to load. You already have your template made. And then whatever you had, whatever it is, it just makes that, I put my 2 lines in here, my 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and and I have this set for the money zone for the current day. And that's pretty much all you do. And then when I want to find my lines, I'll just go back to my objects list and find out what. Now the prices that I had on the template, they're going to stay on the same price, so you have to adjust that for whatever chart you happen to be on. In this case, it's this pair. The main price is about 177.92. So I'll just usually click on this, go to 0.7792, click OK, and it should bring my line up somewhere close. And then I just change these to 20 pips away. 0.7802, we'll just call it. And then I'm going to stop 0.7752. And then I know that I've got my 40 pip stop should be down here someplace. Now let's move it up so I can see it. These aren't adjusted yet. Well, wait till we get the alert. Now I have the lines already set on the chart for when we need to make an adjustment. And a lot of times you just go and just set it at the zones, the next zone, so you can see where that range is. Euro New Zealand 15, Euro Aussie, Euro NZD, and AUD. Let's take a look at that. Euro New Zealand. You probably see a big square on my chart, don't you? Do you see the alert box? Can you see the alert box?
Yeah, we see the alert box, but it's fine. It's not.
Can you read it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. That's
Yeah,
good.
popping up on the screen that you're sharing, so that's fine. What we
Okay.
can't see is when you have something like at the bottom, you've got a big black triangle, or sorry, rectangle.
Okay.
You must be showing something there that isn't actually on the arrow screen.
Okay. Oh, well, that helps. At least that we don't have to erase it every time then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Euro New Zealand. Pull that one up. I'll put up my template. Set my template. I'm going to load it. And I'm going to click on my template. Should have my 2 lines coming up over here. Boom. And we have a sell at 165.88. So I'm going to come over to my objects list. With this, and I'm going to set this to 1.6588. Click OK. I'm going to go to my stop. See, this is showing it down. Our target would be 20 pips below 1.6568. We have enough room for the target. Now the question is, and the stop would be 1.66. We'll call it 28. Lots of room on the stop. Now the question is, can we take this trade with the, we have enough room, now is it going in the right direction? We are in the contra trend zone. We could actually, we can take this trade.
It didn't really bounce off the resistance though, Al.
You're right, it didn't really bounce off. It did come up here and bounce off of that, you're right. So it's not really a bounce arrow go, but we do have, actually it's what it is, it's 1 minute trend. Wait, wedge here. Here's a low, here's a high, higher low, lower high.
The trade actually looks better on the 5 minute, believe it or not, in this case. Yeah.
I think this is a worthwhile trade to take. We're in the downtrend. Oh, let's see what trend are we in here?
Yep.
We are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zones. 1, 2, 3, 4 zones. We are in a downtrend. Actually, it's in the contra trend area. We're below the moving averages, and right now we're getting a little bit better fill if we were to take this thing. Let's go to 5 minute chart and see what the 5 minute looks like.
Yeah, 5 minute looks even a little healthier.
Healthier? Oh.
It's a little late in the trade, but
yeah, it's a little late for the 5 minute. The 5 minute actually had it up here, but it's actually coming back up to retest where the 5 minute would have been. The 5 minute would have been right in this area, this one right here. It's actually coming up to retest that. If it can tag that, that might be give you a little bit better entry, and you would probably still have your 20 pips to this zone. And Euro New Zealand. You check out and see what our strength meter looks like. I'm going to take this one. Euro New Zealand. Modify it. 40 pip stop, 20 pip target. Here's our target. Here's our stop way up here. We have lots of room to the stop. If it comes back and closes above these trend lines and it starts moving back up, I will probably get out of this trade. Right now, I'd be looking at an alert. I like the fact that this is where it's right now sandwiched in from the 5 minute arrow on down. So let's see if we can find our strength meter. We can find that. I'm going to, Eva, I'm going to stop sharing. Why don't you share your screen if you would, while I hunt for this, our strength meter. I would appreciate
Anything
that.
in particular you want to see?
No, just cover the charts just so that while I'm looking for this thing.
Okay, I just put up my Bitcoin.
Hey, okay.
Well, because we just had an alert for it.
Oh, okay. Are you getting that?
I'm
Did you
using
switch?
Envy. Oh, I'm getting
Are
it
you
now.
using Envy now?
Yeah.
You made the switch on me, huh?
You know what I did? I did.
Traitor.
You left them in the dust.
I did, but it's no great anyways, as we can see.
Let me see if I can.
I mean, it's got the
Where may it be? Let me see.
While you're hunting on your strength meter, Pepper just
Yes.
wanted to know if the pound and the Aussie were like on the RCS where they were while you're there.
RCS. The pound is strong on the 1 hour. Well, here I just pulled it up, so maybe I can share it now.
I didn't want to mess with anything.
Yeah, the pound is strong. The Aussie is in the middle of the pack. Actually, on the Aussie's relatively strong. Yeah, I would not. The pound and the Aussie are fighting for first place. That's what they're doing on strength.
Well, that's good.
So let me get back to where was I here? Yeah, let's see where now I gotta find my Zoom room.
We can hear you.
It's missing.
Is there anything anybody wants to see while Al's looking?
Something else. No. Oh, here we go. Here's the Zoom room. Let me see. I think there's my Zoom room. Put that back up. Okay, now let me see if I can do this here. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this one, or I'm going to start.
Do you want me to get out?
Yeah, go ahead, stop yours, or else I'll have to stop. Yeah, go ahead, stop your sharing. There we go. So stop. Okay, you stopped, and we have that's good. And we're going to share my splash screen or my. So this is what we're looking like. It's got the British pound is strong, 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 and it's starting to weaken on the 5-minute. However, the Aussie was one of the questions. That's right in the middle here on the 1 hour, a little bit weaker on the 30-minute, actually stronger on the, so right now the Aussie pound, I would not want to be, I don't particularly want to be trading those against each other. The Canadian dollar is starting to gain some strength all of a sudden, very quickly actually. So let's take a look at, so basically we're looking at strength on the pound, weakness on the Swiss, weakness on the yen. So
My gearbox needs that Swiss to make a comeback.
Gearbox isn't behaving itself.
Gearbox is deep into two Swiss pairs as the secondary pair currency.
Someone else said that they were here. Let me see what my gearbox is. My gearbox I don't think is doing too bad. I'm only at $140 drawdown on.
Yeah, I'm in pretty deep drawdown.
If you were getting some deep, I'm not getting these drawdowns. Someone else told me about a drawdown.
I'm playing in a very aggressive playing field with gearbox right now. So I'm getting what I deserve. But
all right, well that will do it.
Yep, it's worked out for the last couple of weeks, so we'll see.
Yes, I took an Aussie US trade there. That one's still hanging in there. The Aussie New Zealand, that's the one we just took. Aussie New Zealand.
So Al, let me ask you sort of a general observation comment with some of these Forex trades. When I see like this current trade, you just jumped into the Euro Kiwi.
Yeah.
When I see a downward arrow sort of in the middle of a zone like that, you know, halfway down from the resistance and halfway to the support there, I have a tendency to pass on those trades these days. I'm trying to find trades where the arrow is a little closer to the opposite zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The ideal trades with these bag trades are you get the bounce, you get the like this one here. You had a nice. Yeah. That's really what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And what's happening a little bit. What's happening is the time that we're having our sessions here. I think we're kind of right in the middle. We're in the middle between the London and the New York session. New York session is open until 9:30. So you're getting some of these intermediate type of moves. This was clearly the London's opening up, making a move. And right now we're in the retracement phase of the London to New York session.
You're on the M5 there, by the way, in case you wanted to.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And so that's what happens a lot. But these are the ideal. Before, right at the session opens, you get the bounce, you get the arrow, then you get the strength of the markets come in. Generally, what happens is the market makers or the markets they have a pre-market. Basically, there's a lot of pre-market activity, like with futures and even stocks and your market makers. They're all trading before the market opens. They've already taken their positions before the market opens. Most people just wait. Oh, there's the opening bell, and then they start jumping in. Well, the big money people, they've already taken their positions. They've got to work, and that's kind of where we're working right now. Is work at this pre-market. The London's already well open, but they're in the middle of their afternoon, or coming up on their afternoon session. Like right now, it's probably about noon or 1 o'clock, and so they're out to lunch. And so we're taking these trades, and we're not getting the movement really until probably closer towards between 8:30, 9 o'clock to start seeing some pretty good movement. That's why this contra trend zone works a lot of times, is because this is the time before the U.S. market opens up, that 8 to 10 time. 9:30
Right.
is pretty much right in the middle there.
Right.
And so we're just trying to get our position. We're trying to take the positions just like the big guys are doing for the U.S. market opening up. And that's why oftentimes you're not getting these really good, strong moves until around 8:30, 9 o'clock. But this one's still, I mean, it's still hanging in there. We're only down 2 pips, we're only down 8 pips. And remember, we have a 40 pip stop on these things. So we have lots of room. We do have the wind to our back. We have the strength to the downside. We have the down arrow, and we have the range to our target. And I'm still of the mind that, and all you can do is weigh probabilities. We don't know what the market's going to do, but all you can know is that the probabilities are such, and then you just weigh the odds and you take the trade. This one came very close to being a bounce. It was a little bit short, which makes me, the fact that it didn't quite make it all the way up here with a strong move down, I'm just thinking that, and I also see our target is actually before we get to the green zone. I mean, I would expect this. I like this little pivot here. This is where the price was rejected. I do think this is an area where it's very likely that it will retest this zone right here. But if it comes close to our target and it doesn't get us out yet, then I'll just get myself out of it. And that's about all I have for that. The Aussie US is still working on. I need to get my target in here. Target and stop. There we go. Always keep checking your trades to make sure you didn't get distracted doing something else. This one's starting to work out a little bit. Getting better. Euro, New Zealand. And let's see, what's the other one we were looking at? One of my goals for this weekend will be to change my charts to the NV so that we're all on the same page. That way I can get the Bitcoin up here. What's Bitcoin doing today, by the way?
It's kind of ranging now. The cryptos are all kind of messy right now.
Are they?
It made a big retrace move last night, and now it's just kind of sticky.
There's a British US. I'm just seeing. Let's take a look at that. And here we go, British US, 15-minute chart. Move this out of the way. See what our direction is. Slide this, grab this bottom, slide it over. We're in a downtrend. Put the chart, put my template on. And we are in a downtrend with an up arrow. Downtrend. If we can come up here and get a bounce, we maybe have a little something, but right now, I don't think we're gonna have the room here. 139.46, so we're gonna go to objects. Put my lines on. 1.3926. And we're going to, let's see, we'll mark that. Put my target on here too while I'm here. 39. Let's go 39.52, call it. $1.3952. Let's get it up there. And my stop will be $1.39. Let's get below my blue line there. Now, just because we're given a 40 pip stop doesn't mean you have to use a 40 pip stop, but I prefer not to use that much. I'd like to generally. I like 40 pips. I start with just 40 pips, but I also like to get. I want to have some barriers. I want to have some obstacles in front of my price and my stop. This way, you have a nice big zone right here. If we were to take this trade, here's the arrow. And we're at 39.49. So it'll be 49.69 would be the target, which is going to be pretty much up here, pretty much right inside this red line, or this red box. Not really much of a trade. The British was strong. Let's see if we can look and see where that is again. British is still strong. Still strong. Okay.
We can't see. You might have to.
I didn't. Yeah, I'd have to switch screens in order to do that. As soon as I switched that, it paused it, which is kind of interesting. We do have strength to the British side, and actually kind of like that. So like you can't get 20 pips out of it, but you probably could get. Let's see how much room we have. If I were to target this, if let's say it was going for less than the 20 pips, then there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you have the momentum to your side, but I'd be looking at these wicks as being this is where the sellers are going to come back in again, unless they get chewed up, and then it's going. If you have sell, I'm just going to make the assumption there's still some sell orders sitting in here. If you can come up here and find buyers to chew up all those sell orders, and there's no more, the next sell orders would be up in this area, this thing could keep on going up. I do like the momentum on this thing. Let me just see something one more time and see where the US is on this. US is in the middle of the chart. We do have a little bit of a, don't have quite the spread that I would like to see. So I'm still passing this.
You're all black now.
How about now? See my charts?
No.
Not yet.
Oh,
No.
now yeah.
You do? Okay. We're good?
We're
Yeah,
good.
we're good.
Okay. Here's the trend line that we're looking. Here's the trend line that we're looking at. Here's the anchor. Here's the first hit. Coming up here, I would expect to see it, the third hit being right here at the target zone. And let's see here. I'm just going to mark this here. This is a nice little tool I found the other day. I used to use this one a bit, but I haven't used it for a while. I'll get to go in the other direction. Arrow property, delete that one. Come over here, try this one again. This one is off of the arrows, and it has left and right prices. And if you put a price right here where the arrow was, 139.48. I'm just going to mark that as if we took this trade. I'm not taking this, but I want to mark it just so we can see what kind of possibilities we had with that. These are kind of like that for marking rather than the blue line, actually. What else do we have to look at? Any other questions, comments?
Can you look at gold, please?
Okay, we can do
Thank
that.
you.
Gold on the 5 minute. I need to start getting the habit of checking my time frame on these charts because I keep switching around back and forth every now and then. Gold is Looks like it's in a slight uptrend on a 5-minute chart, coming off of a, this is our zone right in here. Still on a downtrend. Checking out the moving averages. We did get a little cross here, coming back up, retesting this area. I see a trend down the bottom here. Here's the anchor. Here's the first hit. Anchor came back up. Here's a W. First leg of the W. Here's the middle of the W. The retest. And now it's on its way back up again. Came back up, retested the zone. Now it's coming back to retest the trend line. I would be looking at a possibility of maybe something in this area right in here. 1714. This also looks like it's starting to retest. We had a break of the 200 moving average, broke it, coming back down, retesting it. This was a nice rejection off of the top. Now, if we put a fractal on here, I'll bet there'd be a fractal right there. We were talking about that the other day, these market maker moves, where the price drives it up, it gets it, and now it comes back down, retests this, and then drops off again. Or in this case, it came back down. Let's see, we have what this looks like over here. Strong move down, came back up, got everybody back in again, and now this thing could start to be a little bit of a reversal here. Let me get my chart up here. Time template. Let me do my template here. We're in the contra trend zone. Here was a bounce. This is the here's a W right here. Came back up, retested. We are now in the contra trend zone. So this is a zone where I say direction. You can take it contra trend. You still want to know where the direction is, what the direction of the trend is. We're still in a downtrend. And right now we're getting a little bit of a bounce off of the, we had, this one came bounced. We're gonna see if we can get a pass and then check. If we can get a break below this moving average, close, come back up, retest the moving averages, we might be able to get, this would be the next target down in this area. And we have a little bit of a trend line. This was the, where this is in the money zone right now. So this was the overnight high in the zone. Here's the low in the zone. Came back up and retested. So this is our playground right now between, let's see, what's the price on this one? 17.35. $17.5, and then the low would be, we'll call it, we'll start with 17.07. 17.07, just get us in the ballpark there. And the opening will go right about where the 17.16. It's right about where that 200 moving average is. And let's see if we had a target of this area right here, see if there would be enough room to a downside if we get an arrow. Remember, with the gold, we're looking at $5 moves, $5 target and $10 stop. Right now it's looking like we may get a close below that, those moving averages at 17.15. But we only have $2 move till we get to this zone. So in order to, and we could get a 17.17 to 12. You get down to the bottom of this, you might have a trade. I'd like to see it get up to this area, maybe retest this zone between the blue candle or the blue line and the purple line. We can get it come up here and test that and then break down. That could be a possible trade. And we may actually get an arrow at that point. Again, I'm not a big fan of gold right now. And let's see, looking at our other trades, Aussie US, we're still okay with that. We're profitable on that one, and we're just barely unprofitable with the other one. I also like looking at putting these on the profits as points as opposed to currency. This will show you the currency. If you put it at points, you can look and see what your pips are. And you also have that over here on the counter, which is nice. That tells you what your pips are. You can kind of keep an eye on that over there. So gold's starting to move. There's a little bit of a push down. This could be a bounce too. You saw how it pushed down, the buyers came back in again. Or people were taking profits. I always like watching the price action, especially when you start getting some volatility, just watching how the price comes down, comes back down, comes back up, comes back down, comes back up. You can just see where the buyers and the sellers are starting to battle it out. There's probably several buy orders in here. The sellers are coming down. If you start seeing this thing going up, that means, ooh, look at that. And that means that basically the buyers are coming in. And anything else we want to talk about here? Any other questions in the chat box?
Nothing in Q&A.
Okay. Yeah, please. Oh, that's the other thing I want to make it just rather than look, if you would put your questions and answers in the Q&A boxes, you're more likely to see them. If you do in the chat box, there's a less than average chance that we'll see your comments in there.
You're covering the screen now.
Oh, that's because I have my chat box, my question answer box up there.
You just have to remember that every time you open
Yeah,
something.
I'm gonna have to keep on top of that one.
Yeah.
We should have a zap button ready.
How about we do since nobody else is asking anything at the moment, how about we have a look at the NASDAQ and do a quick analysis of it?
Okay. Should I do with my trading view or?
No, this is good. This is good here. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, we'll see how comfortable I can be with this one here. Here's the NASDAQ. Okay, so let's go on a little bit higher time. Right now we can see we're in from the overnight high and overnight low in the money zone. You can see this is our range right here. So we have, let me go ahead and bring my template up. And we're going to need to see where our zones are. I'll go 12, 7, 16 we'll start with. Since I know this thing's kind of in a, well, let's pick one here. 12, 7, 16. Pick that one. And pick about 12, 5, 5, 0.
I can see on the 15, there's a W forming.
And let's see, 12, 6, 7, 7. 1, 2, 6, 7, 7. W is forming on the 15, you say?
Yeah, I finished with your 5-minute. That was just an
Okay.
observation on my
So anyway,
part.
right now I'm just going to mark the high and low of the money zone. So right here's the bottom of the money zone. It's right here. Right about there. And actually, what I really like doing is, since one of our strategies is the low of the overnight low, which is right here, and then the overnight high before the money zone is,
Look at all that red. It really went down last night.
yeah. This was this was the start of the new day right there. Pretty much right at the top of the money zone there. Move this out. Let's see if I can tweak this in here so I can see it still. This was the high. This was the high. This was the low of the overnight session before London opened up. This would have been the break to the upside. It didn't go very far, but I don't know if it would have gotten 20 pips out of this one or not, or 5 points. You may have gotten your 5 points out of that.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great technique if you're awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not a bad technique to be used, and it seems to work out pretty well most of the time.
Yeah, look at that, eh?
Yep. But right now it's kind of in sideways. So this is the London high, London low. Right now it's coming up to retest this. So we could possibly, I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know which way it's going to go.
Can we check the 15?
And we can check the 15. And we could strong move down. Here's the first pull back up. We have a low, there's a low, here's a higher low. If it can break through this area right now, I'd be looking at this 200 moving average. And that could be a 12, that could be all the way up here at 12,869. 12,862-ish, and then the top of this zone right here. I'd be looking at this being a little bit more. I'd like to see it break the top of this. If it breaks that, we have a couple wicks here. Once you clear this wick, we've got pretty much a clear shot up into this area.
Yeah,
that's what I say about the NASDAQ.
It's been a pretty wild ride on it, that's for sure.
Yeah. These indexes take no prisoners, so they really don't, especially right now with this, all the uncertainty that we have with the dollar. It's all over the place right now. All you can really do is find a zone that you're willing to trade it and just go for, buy low, sell high. That's basically what you're trying to do. Try not to get caught in the middle. But you start seeing these nice little trends. This is a relatively strong trend down. This is a rather slow grind up, and you'll see it grind up a little bit. And usually when you see these really slow grinding, it goes up higher, and then all of a sudden it'll just tank. They're just getting their positions set up, but still basically in a downtrend right now, according to this. If we go to a higher time frame, let's see what this looks like. This was you can see the angle of this. See how the angle of this is, and see how it was like grinding up, and then all of a sudden boom, grinding up, grinding up, grinding up, boom. That's where you just have to be patient to try and find your entries and say, okay, if it gets up to this area, I may sell it. I kind of like these moving averages as a guideline. And of course, use those red zones red and green zones that they have. That's a 15 minute.
All three of the U.S. indexes are looking very similar right now too, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. A lot of times, if you look at the three indexes, the S&P, the Dow, and the Nasdaq, and you're looking through, they're all moving in the right direction. Then, if you see one breakout and you see the other one break out, like I often say, bet on the slow horse in the race. Let the others lead the way, and then bet on the last one to lead to break to pretty much catch up in the. So it gives you the direction. If you have two of the three moving in an up direction with a breakout, you may be better off in just taking the direction with the last one to make the break, because they're going to catch up more than likely, or at least go in that direction.
Yeah, the Nasdaq right now is getting some pretty good resistance right there at the bottom of that resistance zone. A lot of wicks there.
Yeah.
Might kick
You
it
see a
back
lot
down.
of when you see a lot of wicks, you just want to stay out of those areas.
Right.
Now this isn't real wicky right here on this chart.
Go to the M5.
And 5 on this one, you'll probably see it. Yeah, that's probably where you. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, if you squeeze that a little bit, you'll see it's pretty. The last four candles there's some nice little wicks to them.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's a strong move up. Again, this is what I call the extended range candle. See how short these other candles are, and this one, this is the extended. This is like a rocket ship comes through. And usually, what you do, you'll see a strong move up right up into the zone, and then it crashes down, it reverses. And you can see where it came up here, and right now, look at all these wicks right here. So the question is it going to be able to break through that? You don't know. But obviously, they found some sellers right up in this area. Look at this big candle right here. This is actually it's a bullish candle. It's a green candle. Even though it's red, it's actually in normal candlestick formation, it's a green candle. Strong move up, base, another strong move up, formed a wedge. Two strong candles in a row, came back and retested the wedge. Now it's following this trend line. Every time you get a pull back to the trend line, here's an anchor, here's a near hit. This is actually your second hit of this trend line. Here's where it hit, pulled away, came back, bounced around a little bit, pulled away. And so right now you can see where we got the zone here, pulled out, down, came back up, didn't make a new high, had some more base and pulled away. So these are all significant areas. When you get a level this is like a level on a level that's a little bit further away than I would like. But if this one goes, this is going to be the next stop. If it can break through this area, it's probably going to be, you'll probably be able to catch a trade pretty much to the bottom of the next one. Right about in there.
One.
So you get a break, and that's 18 to 52. Actually, that's quite a few. That's a nice little move right there to the upside if it can break through. That's on a 5-minute chart too.
So Al, you're not thinking this is going to go back down again?
I'm thinking it'll probably. I'm thinking it will probably. My bet would be it's going to. Well, it's hard to say. How much time do we have to the open here? So we have another 45 minutes before the U.S. market opens up. I think when the U.S. market opens up, there's a good chance it could come up, break through this, and then if the market opens up higher, it could very well come back down after the open round. You all could say like the 10 o'clock reversal comes up, back up, reverses, and then it, or or it comes up around 10 o'clock, we get the reversal where it starts taking another position. I would almost expect this thing to go up higher on the open. We didn't get any arrows. We had the arrow. It was a bounce arrow. I said we are kind of still in the downtrend, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
So the pre-market futures right now, the Dow and Nasdaq are slightly up, and S&P is down, but it's all very small movements. So the pre-market, there's not a lot going on.
And you'll probably get a significant move, probably right at the opening bell. You'll probably get a significant move. And I would be thinking it's going to be to the upside.
Yeah. Just based on that, as Brian says, parabolical move that it made last night.
I will say when it comes to the indexes and gold right now, my crystal ball is pretty foggy right now. That's why I'm just staying away from it until I can find a little bit clearer direction and a little clearer probability.
Well, we'll see at 9 o'clock if either Jackie or Mo is on the call, what they're thinking.
Yeah, they're the ones that they scalp this, and obviously the scalping strategy works for some people. But you have to be really on top of it.
Yeah.
It's almost like those binary options sometimes. If anybody's played with those binary options, that's a real video game.
Oh, that's
Especially when you're working on 1 minute charts and trying to figure out what second that's going to close on. It gets to be really interesting. That's a whole nother study.
That's a pretty big rejection we just got there on this candle.
Yeah, I would expect it to. I would still be of the mindset that whatever it opens up, I'd be looking at it to hit a. Well, a lot depends too, because we got the Fed chairman's going to be speaking today, so it may be a relatively small range when that happens.
Right.
Let's see. Let me just check one more thing here.
Boy, the crypto charts are just a mess right now. Holy cow. They are a mess.
Well, what I do with the cryptos is I just buy pullbacks and hang on to it.
Yeah. No, there's nothing going on right now, let me tell you.
I saw that PayPal is looking at going to Bitcoin, it looks like.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know if that means they're giving up accepting dollars or not, but it looks like they are looking at taking their
Accepting Bitcoin as payment.
Accepting Bitcoin as payment. I don't know if it's going to be an either or both, but there was quite a little chat I saw on that where people were not on the page of going to cryptos, and all I can say is that, in my opinion, not that it's worth anything, is that I think you're going to be seeing. I don't think you're going to be seeing cryptos going away anytime soon as the dollar becomes less and less. I think the dollar will eventually lose its reserve currency status by all the spending that we're doing, and it's going to fall into something else is going to take its place.
Well, I tend to agree with you. I think crypto's here to stay.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't want to, you may not like cryptos, you may not believe in it, but whether you like it or believe in it, I don't think you're going to have much choice in the matter.
Yeah, the big institutional buy-in to crypto over the last half a year has really been a game changer.
Yeah, they're not buying in because they don't believe in it, or they don't believe they have to deal with it whether they want to or not. I don't think they really want to. I think they're being forced to it.
Yeah.
Judson says, I think crypto would have to improve just to be a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Judson. Looking at these charts right now, they're just looks like Chinese right now. Forgive me, Chinese writing. Don't understand it.
It's just all over the place. And
Yep.
unfortunately, it affects all the stocks that have to do with crypto, like the blockchain stocks and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of money to be made in those blockchain stocks. Just, but you have to be patient with. You have to give it the wiggle room that it so requires. Yeah, Bitcoin was what, up to 53 yesterday. Now it's back down to about 49
Yeah,
ish.
I'm in on 50.
And by the weekend, it'll probably be up to 60 or down to 35.
One or the other.
One or the other. My prediction is it's going to be somewhere between 60 and 35 by this week. Oh, it's there right now. Okay.
Well, going to 35 is a lot of pullbacks for you, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would be a good buying opportunity. Although there will reach a point where the buying opportunity becomes a selling opportunity, I guess. But you can just see the pre-market right now, the time on this, what time is we? Right about 10 minutes before, about 10 minutes before 9. This is all pre-market moves right now. It came back, it moved up, retested it, going back. We're not talking a huge move here. We're talking, well, let's see, 719. Well, it was not quite that high. Let's go 12, 7, 10-ish. And right now it's at 12, 10, going back $40. If you're on $40 on a $12,600 stock, it's not position. We're not talking a big move here. When you're talking about $12,000 and you talk about $5 move, it's kind of a non-issue. And there's gold, and we have there's gold at sell 1714. That was one we were looking at as possibility of selling. Let's take a look at gold. 1714. Let's say right here we were saying that was if we wanted to get it through this area right here. So this was a 5 minute. Here's the alert. At 14, I say if it can break through 1712, we did get the close. We have the moving average. It closed, came back up, retested it. Here's a retest of the. See, there's not much of a wedge there, but
There's also there's a support zone where you drew your box there on the 1 minute.
Right here.
Yeah, that's already been created on the 1 minute. So
yeah, this is the one, and this is the one I was. Yeah, we kind of.
Yeah.
No. Eyeballed that one. But if it can break through this, what I would do. Here's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to put a trade order in with a new order, and I'm going to. There's gold volume, and I'm going to do not a market entry. I'm going to do a pending order, and I'm going to do a sell stop.
There's not $5 to the next zone. Just keep in mind, or
to that green zone.
Yeah, if you get to your price you're putting in there, usually with gold, right, you're trying to get $5.
$5, yeah. But I was looking at this area at 107.
Yeah,
that'd be 1707. Let's see if I get 1707.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So 17. So we're looking at a sell at 1712.78. So a sell stop at 1712.78. 78, and a take profit of 1707, we'll call it 1707. And see if we can place this trade here. And the stop would be, we get in 1712, we're gonna go 1702 or 1722.
The 1 minute chart is an uptrend.
Place. It didn't like that one. Okay, why didn't it like that? Pending order.
Maybe because
Sell
Al,
stop.
you didn't have a decimal point. Maybe.
Maybe it does.
On your
Well, I got
price.
3.
No, on the bottom. Go down.
Stop.
There you go.
Oh, no. Oh,
I don't know. Just thinking. That's a thought.
1707. We'll just go 1707. Let's try that. Pending order, sell stop, gold. Pending order, sell stop. Off at 722, 1707. Oh, 1707. Here's a 12. I wouldn't do this at 1712. 17012. See if I can get it before it gets there.
I think you gotta get rid of one of those zeros after the decimal place in your price right now. Yeah.
Let's
Well,
try
you-
this.
You got a 0 in the middle too.
17,
Gotta go.
12.
No, 1712, Al, not a zero there. You got,
It doesn't like it for some reason. Why does-
Al, you have 17,012
Oh, I know,
instead of
17.
1,712. Your actual price.
17022.
He's not listening.
He's in the mode. Al, is your mic? Can you
He's
hear us?
messing them all. He's messing up the stop loss now too.
17007.
Al, can you hear any of us?
Al.
I'll stop. Be careful about that.
He's going to be mystified until that
For some
place
reason, it
button's not
doesn't
going to
It's
be
gonna be like-
active.
He's like gonna be holy crap.
Al, you're
I'm
not
working.
selling Ethereum here.
Try
You're
this whole
selling.
thing again. New order.
He's lost his earpiece or something.
Gold.
Okay.
We'll see what happens now.
Al?
And sell stop. One,
Okay.
7, 1, 2.
Well, he's getting it. He's at least figuring it out now.
But
I
it doesn't
think
work
he
now,
717.
He does this on purpose so he doesn't have to listen to us.
And take
Yeah, I
profit
think he's
of
just muted everybody.
1707.
Oh, my goodness.
He's got to be wondering at some point
This
here why
order.
no one's talking now.
Well,
There you
you
go.
think, right?
There, he got it.
So
Al?
basically, if it comes back up to around here,
He's got two
we'll
trades.
enter short, and my
Al,
target
can
will
you
be,
hear
I'll
us?
Al,
put it right at the base of these bodies. That way, if it comes down to
Can't
the
hear
wicks, it'll maybe get me
Can't
my
hear
target
us.
in.
no.
So that's just a pending order. That's how you put those in. And you wait and see. Right now, it's not doing anything. If it comes down, breaks through this area, it'll probably head on. I'm looking at the head down here. If it breaks through and gets me in, I've got my stop, and I may move my stop down to the moving averages, because if it breaks here, it should not come back and retest the moving averages. And I could tighten up my stop a little bit. And that's how you do that. And
Al?
right now we are about 4 minutes away. So unless we have any questions, we'll wrap up the session, give you time to get over into the 9 o'clock Zoom room.
Can you hear us, Al?
Al,
Any other questions?
He's muted.
no, he can't hear us. His earbuds
Hopefully-
are on.
Hopefully he'll look at the Q&A. I think the
Going
chat
once,
box
going
will get him
twice.
lost. Once, twice. gotta wonder why none
Keep
of
an eye
us.
on that gold. So I'm gonna put that one in there. We'll see what happens.
So funny.
And thank everybody for coming in. Sorry, I'm not on my desktop, but we're just gonna have to deal with what we have to work with here. So
Kenzo wrote.
thanks for everybody for being here. I appreciate every
Yeah.
one of you. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, CB. Thanks, Eva. And we'll see
Okay,
everybody tomorrow, same time, 7:30 to 9. And happy
He doesn't
trading.
seem to be
Stay
bothered
green.
that none of us are talking.
Talk to you later.
Maybe he's happy. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
great day.
Well, God bless.